So I'm with MAKAWALU, and this is Z.
Brandy. Mahia.
Yeah, and you guys are all in solidarity with a lot of the efforts here against this Heva. Another one of the Hevas coming down the line. So what you guys think?
It's a lot of Heva. This thing is I'm gonna say it's part of a master plan to destroy everything we got and to kick us, especially us Kanaka Maoli, off the land. I mean, we've been giving them the hardest time since, you know, they came over here. So it's all part of a master plan. You know, everything's linked up. Power build-up, the development. I'm sure APEC has a little agenda in here somewhere too. So we think this is just a piece of that big puzzle, and it's that puzzle to destroy. And it's evil. It's really evil, so we're fighting against that. This is superhero stuff right here.
Yeah, the fist. And yeah. And then we got the...
And the fist.
And then, so you think there's like, even the global elites are coming in here, they got their free trade deals somehow in this stuff, yeah?
Yep.
Guaranteed somehow. So what have you guys witnessed here at this hearing that's kind of you feel good about? Do you feel good about like some of these people being here?
A lot of the people here are pretty much against it, so it really helps that we're not like the only ones here like against it, fighting for it. And just the thought of like this PLDC can take away our Aina, it's really sickening, and the thought that if it goes through, it's really, really sad. Like, I can't imagine Hawaii without Aina.
And these are stewards, like I keep saying, of the land, trying to make a profit off of it.
I know.
How can you?
You're supposed to be holding the land in trust, right? But you're developing it. I mean, you just found a little loophole to try to weave your way around this. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Maybe there's a good capitalism and bad. I don't know.
Maybe there's a
good Heva and
evil capitalism.
Good Heva and bad Heva. I mean, I don't know, but no whole Heva anyway.
Right.
But anyway.
The thing is, it's a capitalist system. It forces them to be corrupt, to be evil, to exploit others, so that the few can capitalize off of the rest.
And so that they survive, because if they're not always trying to pinch the penny and be better than the other guy, they die.
But you know what they can count on? They can always count on us to breed and have a workforce for them, a slave force. I mean, that's part of their plan, and you know, it's obvious. Hawaii's a little playground, and they run amok here. And these kinds of things like PLDC just shows their true intentions to develop, to profit off of people like us, like you.
And I guess, and I keep harping on the word, but capitalism really it accentuates the greed in people, I find, and not the good. And we need to develop the goodness if we're going to develop anything, in our other nature. Right?
I mean, that's the question. Is that possible in a capitalist system? No. But then you have all the people who are crying socialist, communist, environmentalist, evilist. You know, I mean,
I vote for anarchist, but anyway.
I mean, it's what perpetuates love the best.
Yeah, what
the best interest is life.
The Lahui.
Obviously, it's not helping life.
Yeah, life and the Lahui and the people connected this.
Right.
But, okay, MAKAWALU, hey, you guys showed up in force here and you guys stood up against the wall and were brave with the shooting. Assume the position. Pan out.
Oh, that's true.
Is this a sitting thing?
Yeah.
Right on.
No, they don't.
First up. Whenever I'm ready?
Yeah.
Aloha mai. And an even greater aloha mai kako, mai kalahi ki akalako, mai kahoku yaka lavai, to all the warriors who've come here in defense of your homeland, in defense of Aina. Heli ika Aina, ahe kawa ke kanaka. The Aina is the chief, the people are its servants. That was the mana'o in Hawaii that could feed us, that could shelter us, that could sustain us, that could care for us. And then our government was overthrown, our country occupied, and our people oppressed. And they covered Aina with concrete and houses. And it spread like a disease, a plague. A disease that values urban expansion over the ability to feed yourself. A disease that values profit, money, exploitation, and greed over life. I grew up hearing the stories from my grandparents and my parents about what Hawaii was like. I'm upset because I can't relate to those stories. I'm upset because I can't share in those mo'olelo, because the Hawaii they knew is buried under miles and miles of tract homes and under mountains of concrete and asphalt. But what about our children? What about our grandchildren?
Excuse me, Mr. P. I'm not sure if you heard me earlier. Tonight's public.
Oh, I did hear you, and I'm making my point right now.
Okay.
What about our future generations of Hawaii? Are they going to look back at this block of concrete that used to be the most beautiful islands in the world, and will they be angry at us and hate us for destroying their world? Not while we have a chance right now to stop it. So my point is, I would like to affirm, and on behalf of Hui Makawalu and my immeasurable amount of aloha I have for the people of Hawaii, I affirm that Act 55 be repealed and the Public Land Development Corporation be abolished for the betterment of Hawaii. E mau ke o kaina I ka pono.
Ahukipilo I kalumine alhono na kolonel na. My name is Kahala Johnson. I'm a student at UH Manoa, and I urge for the abolishment of the Public Land Development Corporation and the repeal of Act 55. The unfettered authority claimed by the PLDC under Act 55 reveals unequivocally the extent of governmental dereliction of duty and predatory corporate interests in these islands. While the DLNR Deputy Director Guy Kulukukui cites a lack of funding as a preliminary cause of failure to meet mission standards protecting cultural and environmental resources, I argue that a systematic prioritization of exorbitant land development projects like rail, coupled with conscious disregards towards Aina, effectively relegates these efforts to the bottom of the budget alongside education, food sovereignty, and of course, Kanaka Maoli. If there are any disputes, our peruse of Act 55 will dispel them. In describing the nature of proposed infrastructure to be built by the PLDC, it states that lands will be developed into recreational and leisure centers where the public can congregate and where visitors can go as part of their holiday experience. Continuing upon this reasoning, permissible uses of public land pursuant to this chapter shall include, but not be limited to, office space, vehicular parking, commercial use, hotel, residential, and timeshare uses, fueling facilities, storage and repair facilities, and seawater air conditioning plants. How these things are environmentally or culturally sensitive is beyond my understanding. Not ironically, the driving impetus behind the PLDC dovetails neatly with the transnational corporate agendas presented at APEC last year. In summary, I once again admonish the abolishment of the Public Land Development Corporation and the repeal of Act 55. Solution to the DLNR fiscal and managerial failures does not lie in contradictory commercial development of Aina for cash revenue, but a shift in political and economic priorities enshrining the very principles of environmental and cultural resource protection the DLNR espouses as its paramount agenda. Most importantly, prior to any further discussion on the use of these lands, the issue of an independent Hawaii decided by Kanaka Maoli and Hawaiian nationals must first be resolved. Ea kaleo na kua, na kinikini, na lehu lehu. The voice of the people is the voice of a kua.
Aloha mai to all the kapo'e, aloha aina o Hawaii, everyone who came out here and everyone at home who doesn't support the PLDC. I am also here on behalf of Hui Makawalo. We stand for aloha aina, we stand for life. What the PLDC can do is, quite frankly, scary. I've been looking through the documentation, it's so vague. I'm not sure how many people have looked through it, but there are a whole lot of people outside who appear to be against this. There's a whole lot of people in here who appear to be against this. Obviously, we all understand that the vagueness of this act, of this corporation, is frightening. There's no accountability, there's no way of knowing what they're going to do other than guarantee that they're going to destroy Aina, and that they're going to take away our ability to feed ourselves. They're going to take away our ability to say what we want to happen in Hawaii. I'm actually just, quite frankly, disgusted by it, because we don't have any idea what you folks are going to do with the public lands. And it's just disgusting, it's scary, and all the people at home who couldn't make it down here today, I'm sure that if they knew more about it, they also wouldn't support this. We've been shoved in this tiny little room, and there are a whole bunch of people outside. There's people watching at home that can't see those people outside, but there are a whole bunch of people that don't support this. And we all demand that you repeal Act 55.
Aloha mai kako o Mahealani Tra o Nakamaku Puni o Hawaii Maiau. I'm Mahealani. I'm from Big Island, also I like to call Hawaii Island. I just have to say that this is really saddening to me to think that some corporation can come in, take our Aina away from us, and get to do whatever they want to do. It makes me want to cry. Why do we need a corporation to handle the Aina that belongs to Hawaii, that belongs to the public of Hawaii? This corporation is governed by 5 members. Why are there only 5 members has the authority to say that they can do whatever they want to our Aina? Why can't the public decide what we want to do with our Aina? We simply cannot allow this to happen. So much has already been taken away from the people, from our Aina. We do not need the PLDC. We do not need this. Public Land Development Corporation is a corporation just to take away our Aina and to do what they want to do with it. I don't understand how this, Act 55 is not going to do any good, no good whatsoever. I'm here as a UH student of Manoa, here with the Hui MAKAWALU, and we here want to repeal Act 55. Mahalo.
Wao na mea ea kia hinui me ka hei kalani ka kui hewa. Mai makupuni o Lahaina. Roa, my name is Namea Ea Hoshino. I'm from Lahaina, Maui. Yeah. And one of my things that came to mind, is our motto. What are the things, the so-called Wa Mau ke ea o ka aina ko pono? You think of that, you think of that a lot, because in our state, some of the things that is not pono, this PLDC, this kind of looks to us like it's a slap in our face to people, because we look at all these things that's going on, especially in Hawaii. There's Lahaina, there's a bypass. There's a harbor extension is coming up in Lahaina. Lana 8 has those windmills that's planning to come up too. And now you guys wanna use a public land for economic. And I think of it as how we're gonna feel in our future, like when my children come and they get to see all these things. You guys said that we're supposed to perpetuate the culture, the history of Hawaii, and since you destroying the life of it. And that's the thing that you guys don't realize, that some of our people that is here, I'm here, and I have to suffer every day because of what we're going through. People in Waianae, Waimanalo, all living in homeless because of what's going on. And now this issue has come up, and back in Maui, I've been hearing a lot of stuff. And you guys just don't get it. And how dare New Abercrombie try to bring this on the table. For me, no. Born and raised in Lahaina, my family taught me how to fish, to maulong the aina. Where are my children going to learn this kind of stuff? They can't learn this thing. What are they going to learn? How to build buildings. How will they? I'd rather live off the land, yeah, that provides me than living underneath you guys' roof. Because I'm tired of this. But I have to come out here to speak to you guys, just to make you guys understand, yeah, of what we're trying to protect our lifestyle. And this is the wrongest thing. And I hope you guys remember now that the things that we're fighting for, yeah, is more important than making the money. Yeah, mahalo.
Albina Isisoku. Aloha, my name is Ponoki Aloha. I'm proud. I'm proud of the people that came today. Took a lot of time, a lot of discomfort to be here to speak up for something that meant a lot to them. This means a lot to me. There's no treaty of annexation. This is a continuation of genocide. And how I see it is my children sleeping by a garbage can, digging through for some kind of morsel of food because we can't grow anything on this land. We have no water. Everything has been sponged from us. Now everything you're doing is a continuation of an act of war that happened on 1893. Now if you have any kind of compassion for humanity, look in yourself. Ask yourself, is this Pono? What you're doing right now is playing a shell game with our future, my children's future. And I want to make sure they have something to look forward to, not end up as a fatality. Mahalo.
Back in 1893, the year was military.